Hello, good evening, my friends. Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live with me, Mike Avery, here at my home studio, my office, where I get the majority of my work done. I'm in the radio studio usually one day a week. The rest of the stuff I can get done from here. Technology is wonderful. I don't have to have a radio studio anymore to get things done. Cliff, you were our first viewer this morning. You're back tonight. I appreciate it. Hello, Randy. How are you? Thanks for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. My name is Mike Avery. This is something I do every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time as I check in with my friends and we have a chance to talk just a little bit. It's kind of a midweek break from all the other stuff that's going on in the world and online and all that stuff. And I enjoy it. And I think that viewers enjoy it as well. Hello, Craig. Again, thank you for your generosity. Good to see you this morning. Dan, always a pleasure. Appreciate you joining us. All of us here on Wednesday Night Live. James, Charles watching over on YouTube. Johnny Bowler, how you doing, buddy? Tim, always a pleasure. You know what I'm going to say next? Say hi to Jen for me. I love your... what would you call that? Emoji icon? Oh, speaking of that, some things I learned last week. How am I going to do this? Oh, I thought I learned them last week. Thumbs up. Oh, it's not going to do it for me this. There we go. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. Oh, I'll play with them later. Pretty exciting, though. Hello, Paul. How are you? Appreciate you being along with us. 2 thumbs down. Come on, it's supposed to work for me here. Where do I have to be to make it work? Oh, man. I was getting so excited. Everything is going well, Jim. How are you? Jerry, good evening. Hey, Brent, that rod you made for our Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction is beautiful. It's a piece of artwork. Jim, good evening. Tony, sounds like you had a good day crow hunting. I'd really like to talk to you guys on the radio show about crow hunting. I get it. You're not interested. I completely get it. But I don't know a lot of people who crow hunt. Linda, always a pleasure. Nice to have you along with us. Dave Mason, not the guy who sang, what a Dave Mason's thing. Anyway, a different Dave Mason. You're more than welcome, Brent. Johnny, she went to Aruba and left you home, Johnny? And Andy's is right across the street and Heidi left you alone and went to Aruba? Did she know what she was doing? Good evening, Larry. Ed Bolanowski, good evening. Let me try something else. Let's see if this does something, right? My fingers are crooked. There. Balloons. Okay. Hey, excellent, Jerry. Okay. 2 peace signs. Confetti. Oh, well. Discovered this last week. You're being a good boy. Your daughter is your caretaker. Oh, Johnny, so she didn't leave you home unattended, which was probably a good idea. Amos says, I'm surprised Johnny Bowler's not howling at the moon by now. How do you know this is a new shirt, Ed? What makes you think that this is a new shirt? Maybe it's an old shirt. Maybe it's a medium-age shirt. You don't know for a fact that this is a new shirt. Linda says the same thing. Nice new shirt, Mike. Good color for the video feed. Linda, how do you know that this is a new shirt? It is a new shirt, but how do you know that? Is it because it really hasn't been ironed yet? I haven't even washed it yet. Hey, John, did you get my email? Thank you so much for your response, letting me know that I did indeed set a new buzzer record at the end of the year, but John was with a friend and wasn't along with us to officially document. He went back, he watched the feed, the video feed, the live stream, and said, yes, I did set a new record. And also, John Callison is the guy who told me about this. No, this, two of them. Well, he told me about this too. Anyway. Oh. What's this do? John Callison says this does something too. I think I need to get out of the way. This right here. Oh man, it's supposed to do something. She's with some great friends that are coming down to the Trinity dinner. Excellent. I look forward to seeing you guys. And they'll be the only tan ones there. Hey, Chris, good evening. How are you? Nice to have you along with us on this edition. Linda would say, well, I would say your old shirts are too big for you now. This one actually is a little bit too big. Thank you, Linda, for saying that. But this one is actually a little bit too big because it hasn't been washed and shrunk down yet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Sir Lancelot himself, Lance Valentine of Teaching Fishing, along with us tonight, teachingfishing.com. When we get done tonight, Lance will be live as well. So I ask you to check that out. Jeff, good evening. Hello, Michelle. Tim says, you broke it already. Careful, Mike. I what? Oh, I almost did. What is this logo right here? Okay, so what have we learned? There's this, but I think I have to have it off to the side. Right? This. Do something, Facebook. There's this. There's this. But I think I can't be in the way of it. And I think it has to be up here. Seems like it's hit or miss. Dead skunk in the road, Eaton County, Delta Township. I know it. I am having too much fun. Isn't it amazing, Ace, that after all these years, I still love this? Every time I get in front of a microphone or a live stream or something, I'm like a kid. Well, not every time. A lot of times. Some days, I got to be honest, some days it's actually a job. Good evening, Patrick. Good evening, Patrick Kinsey. Good evening, Patrick Dean. Tim. Hey, Cap, right back at you, Doug Ward. I will look forward to seeing that certificate you send us. Elmer checking in from Petoskey, a beautiful part of the state. Gene checking in from the home of Angler Quest. Hello, Mike. How are you? I'm doing good, Mike. Hey, Scott, it was nice to see you and Teresa Sunday as well at Saginaw Valley for a softball tournament. Ken checking in from Gulf Shores, Alabama. Ken, buddy, how was your trip? I hope you guys are having fun. I hope the weather is nice for you, and I hope you have a lot of fun. Wednesday Archery League, Elliot. Linda says, hey, when you go to wash that shirt, add a cup of salt to the washer. It'll set the dye for your new dye. Oh, really? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a screen cap on that. Capture. And then I'm going to send it to myself. Send to messages to me. I wasn't aware of that. It looked like a new shirt forever. Erica, good evening. How are you? Checking in from the thumb. Might have to have your hands further back from the camera. It's weird how it picks it up. Brad, Uncle Johnny, how you doing, buddy? Bears, they should be sleeping, Paul. Nope, no station in Livonia, John. Nothing south of Flint on the east side of the state is willing to take my show without me paying for airtime. And I'm not going to do that. That is a business model I did for the television show. It ended up being disastrous, and I'm not going to do it. Good evening, Barry. Paul, am I going to be at the MUCC convention next month? No, I'm not. Tim is listening while doing home improvement. You poor guy. Online copies instead of watching the Super Bowl and Taylor Swift. Has she like ruined football or what? Has she pretty much ruined everything? Well, good point. Craig says if you salted it, it would be baiting if I wear it while I'm hunting. Yes, John. Yes, John. Tim, yes. Hey, Scott, how are you tonight? Hey, for our new folks, new friends joining us, my name is Mike Avery. This is something I'll call Wednesday Night Live. I do this on most of my social media outlets. Sometimes I also go live to Instagram along with this, but Instagram is a pain to stream live to unless you're going only to Instagram. And I got to be honest with you, it's not worth it. They make it too hard for me to want to do it. Okay. Some things we got to talk about tonight. She's even on your Facebook feed. Good afternoon, Ruben. How are things in Colorado? Oh, that's a beautiful, is that a rainbow or a steelhead you're holding there? Beautiful fish. Oh, great, Paul. Okay. Some things we have to talk about tonight. Number one, the weather. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Now, maybe not if you're living in the UP, but here where I live in the central part of the Lower Peninsula, I can feel it. Spring wants to be here. Now, I could say, as I have been for the past several weeks, that the days are getting longer. I was informed this morning by my good friend Craig Plowman, Avery, you big dummy, and those were his exact words, Avery, you big dummy, the days are not getting longer. The days are still 24 hours. Winter's not coming back, Scott. Randy says, so who is this Taylor Swift person? Yes. Johnny Bowler says it's in the 40s up there. Hello, Jeff. No snow at all. Okay, so the days are not getting longer. Thank you, Craig Plowman. The amount of daylight has increased. How about that? Dead skunks in the road. Saw my first one. Have not been able to get a picture yet. Patrick, a friend in Dickinson County, found 20 deer kills on a lake. He said the wolves figured out they could chase them onto the ice and kill them there. I will be there. Your Honor, I will be there. I look forward to seeing you. Saw robins in Nobbinway 2 days ago. Well, we saw robins. To me, robins are not a true sign of springtime because some of the dumb ones stay around year round. Nate says it's going to get colder, but we won't see normal February temps again. I agree. Michigan's meteorologist Mark Torregrossa says that too. Dead skunks. I saw a dead skunk the other night after dark. I thought, well, I'll come back in the morning and get a picture of it. Came back and it wasn't there. So then I was driving through town the other day on a pretty busy street, and I said, hey, there's a dead skunk. So I turned around, came back, stopped traffic to get a picture of this dead skunk in the road, and it was a dead cat. Lots of snow in Colorado. I bet there is. Hello, Bill. How are you tonight? And it's going to be 50-some tomorrow. Jeff, good evening. Scott says, don't put your snow shovels away. Scott, don't break my heart. Don't break my spirit. Nick Grillo, my good friend from Michigan Brand Meets MichiganBrand.net. Nick will be with us at the Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction coming up Saturday, March 2nd. It's Nick and the Grillo family are providing one of our live auction items. Listen to this. Michigan brand products for a year. This morning, Nick, we were snacking on the game stick with cheddar cheese, and it was outstanding. Outstanding. Brett said he heard sandhills flying over. Smelling skunks down in Commerce. Are you sure it's skunks or is it something else? I agree with you, Kevin. I could not agree more. To me, the true sign of spring is when the red-winged blackbirds return to the pond behind the house. Jeremy says coyotes are dropping left and right in the UP. We are going to talk about coyotes here in just a couple of minutes. Some things. It is Michigan weather, but Michigan weather is changing. Today they did, Elmer. Quit going out on the ice, Elmer says. I'm not going to tell somebody not to go on the ice. I'm going to say it's a free world. And if you don't cherish your life or your safety enough to have respect for Mother Nature, go on the ice. You have that right. Free world. But do you have the right to endanger others whose job it is to come and try to save you? I don't think so. Hello, Ralph. Chad, coyote season proposal. This is what I'm going to talk about tonight in depth, because I haven't seen anything so disturbing on the Michigan outdoor landscape in years. Chad, the coyote season proposal helps lower the deer population, prevents the DNR allowing the USDA coming in and killing deer around cattle farms. Deer hunting is all about money. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I agree that it's a bad idea. 3 weeks until the Red Wings back for you. Tim says he smells a skunk anytime he drives through Penn County. What does that mean? Mike says he would gain so much weight eating that much Michigan brand products. Mike, Michigan brand is healthy. Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, okay, I swear, and I'm 65 years old, I swear when I was a kid, pot had a smell. Has the pot of today changed that much that it now smells like skunk? Or is it just I have a different perception of that smell? I used to think of it as a sweet, appealing smell. Now it just straight out smells like skunk. Why is that? Or is it just me? Johnny's got a 4-point, hasn't dropped yet. I saw that, a drowning in Roscommon. Good evening, Carlos. Spring peepers, that's a ways out yet. Hey, Art Lewis, our good friend from WSGW. Art Lewis, a Michigan broadcasting icon. He says, good evening, Mike. Looking forward to the Fordney gun raffle. That is next Tuesday, and the Trinity dinner is Saturday, March 2nd. Chris says it's a beautiful day in Kansas. Scott says Pinconning is loaded with weed farms. Pretty depressing. Zach says keep kicking ass. Okay, Chad, I'm an avid coyote trapper and hunter. However, I never hunt or trap in the summer. I can't bring myself to kill the pups. Okay, let's get into it. Let me give you the rundown on this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show, and that will help me get into the topic at hand. My first guest this week, Chris Craner. Chris is a hardcore coyote hunter. I get his reaction to the proposal to cut Michigan's coyote hunting season back from year-round to no hunting between April 15th and July 15th. Then John Littlefield, Captain John Littlefield, talks about how to get your captain's license. John is the guy who taught the classes where I got my captain's license. Then, extreme long-range shooting expert, one of the best in the world, Michigan resident Paul Phillips. Plus, Justin Tomei of MUCC follows up on this whole situation of the proposal that the NRC will hear in Lansing. I think it's in Lansing tomorrow. We're going to talk more about that in a second. And then in our third hour, we're talking fishing with Mark Romanak of Fishing 411, and we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. This week, a razzmatazz rabbit recipe. If you have the cookbook, it is page 154. Let me catch up on some comments, then let's get right into it. Tim says, I don't know how I know what it smelled like, but yes, it's nasty now. I know how I did. I went to school in the 70s. That's how I know. Scott says it's where they grow the weed that stinks. Zach, coyote hunting is way more fun. Come on, let's go. Complains about the smell. Chastening. Chad's a smart guy. Paul, I don't have the proposals in front of me. One is about year-round coyote. No, it's not about expanding. It's about limiting year-round coyote hunting. Good point, Bill. As much as I gripe about winter, that's a good point. There are a lot of people in the state who rely on winter. John Callison says Chris is the best coyote hunter he knows. Hunter Joe, it wasn't that long. Coyote hunting was shut down during that period. Okay, let's talk about this. There is a proposal that the NRC, the Michigan Natural Resources Commission, will hear tomorrow that would take our year-round coyote hunting season and stop recreational hunting from April 15th to July 15th. You would still be allowed to hunt dogs that are doing damage. Here are my concerns, and there are many. Number one, even the DNR admits in print that there is no biological reason to do this. Remember Proposal G, 1996. The voters of Michigan approved overwhelmingly, if I remember right, Proposal G, which calls for sound scientific wildlife management. It does not call for management by social science. It does not call for management by social media. It calls for sound scientific, science-based wildlife management. DNR says there is no biological reason to knock the season back. Point number one. Point number two. My other concern with this, or another concern with this, is who it's being pushed by. Now, let me just say right off the bat, I have nothing but respect for trappers and our Michigan trappers. I have nothing but respect for houndsmen, and the Hunting Dog Federation. I have had both groups on the radio show many times. I have voiced my support for those groups and support for their activities. But it's those groups that are pushing for the restricted season for coyote hunting. Now, why? Why is this? There are a couple of ways to look at it. My immediate concern when I saw this was, oh, geez, the anti-hunters are in here stirring things up. Not directly, possibly indirectly. The sportsmen's groups that are pushing for this are saying that they're worried that the perception of coyote hunting during the wet season, the whelping season, when they have pups, they're worried that the perception of that is so negative that the legislature could get involved and really restrict the season. So they want to be proactive, and get ahead of this thing. Okay, that is certainly a legitimate concern, viable, valid, legitimate concern. So if that's the case, then the antis, even though they're not directly involved, are having a say in our wildlife management system, which obviously I don't like. There is another school of thought which is far more negative, which I don't necessarily buy into, that says that the coyote hunters are so effective at knocking down the coyote population during the whelping? The wet season when they have the pups, that they don't want to knock down the coyote population because they enjoy hunting the rest of the year. I don't necessarily buy into that one, but that is floating out there as well. So what we have here is a situation, a proposal to limit a currently legal and biologically sound hunting season, to limit the outdoor recreational opportunities in a situation that the DNR admits there is no biological reason to do so, and it's being pushed by sportsmen's groups. I thought in today's world we were past this. I thought we were past the fact that one group of sportsmen would sacrifice another group of sportsmen for their own good. I thought we were past that. I thought we learned in the Michigan dove hunt many years ago that if we as sportsmen and women and sporting groups and hunting groups don't stand together, that we all lose. That's why we don't have a dove hunt, because hunters in Michigan didn't support it because nobody had hunted doves yet. So the hunters of Michigan said, we will sacrifice a dove hunt so the anti-hunters will get off our rear end and leave us alone. And of course, look how well that worked out. So I am very much concerned about this. The NRC hears this tomorrow. They're not supposed to take action on it until the March meeting. So here's what you can do. Reach out right now to NRC commissioners and tell them you think it's a mistake to go down this road. Don't be belligerent. Don't be a jerk. Don't be threatening. I don't care how strongly you feel about this. Reach out to these NRC commissioners and express your concern. If this is a concern. If you don't agree with me, if you think I'm completely off base, then I would also ask you to reach out to the NRC commissioners and tell them what you think. I think it's a big mistake. Let me catch up on some comments. Oh, okay, John makes. That's why it's so dangerous to toy with the idea of coy wolves. I agree. Speaking of wolves, let me follow up on this now. This is also from Justin Tomei, the policy director for MUCC. Justin talks about this on the radio show this week. He says, in addition to the coyote issue, he says there is arguably a bigger issue tomorrow that is supposed to come up, and that is a bill to remove wolves as a game species and remove NRC authority to name game species. Now, you might say, woohoo, okay, eliminate wolves as a game species. Well, no, that would be wrong. If you eliminate wolves as a game species, there'll never be a hunt. This is a bill that would put everything in the hands of the politicians. As Justin Tomei describes this, he said, this is a hill that we will live or die on. There are some things going on in this state right now. Politicians should probably not be allowed to manage wildlife. Tim says, I only hunt coyotes May through October, so this cuts into his hunting. Not going to be happy if this goes through. I'm guessing the mile. Boy, you're really taking me off topic here, Jess. I was on a roll. Shannon. Zach says, I heard it's because the government wants predators to kill off our animals. Is this true? I can't believe that. I don't think so, Zach. That's very, what's the word I'm thinking of? Very, help me out. What's the word when you think, I almost had it here. Theory. I don't know. If the DNR wants to lower populations of deer, allow baiting. They want to allow baiting because of TB and CWD. I agree. I think we should be baiting deer. I really do. Danny Johnson, good evening. How are you, buddy? Nathan, do I get to decide what a nuisance is? I know what you're talking about, Nate. You're talking about during the proposed closed season that you could kill a coyote if it was a nuisance animal or doing damage. And I don't know the answer to that. Todd, good evening. How are you? Heather, we have proposal G here for a reason. Please write the commission to remind them of this. Tim says the only biological reason is to reduce deer numbers. Hunter Joe, proposal G isn't worth the paper it was printed on. It's been ignored by all parties involved. Emil Rousseau, it's politics, just politics. A few more votes for some bleeding hearts. Scott, coyotes, woodchucks, and feral cats are a nuisance. Absolutely. Amen, Craig. Changing coyote rules also sets a dangerous precedence that we can change our hunting seasons for and take away recreational opportunities, legal, legitimate hunting opportunities for no biological reason. Emil says, New Mexico, great example. Help me out, Emil. Zach says, got to kill the coyotes before they kill the fawns. Uh, okay, here Paul says, I'll send it to you. It's Proposal 11 in support of year-round coyote hunting. Yes, MUCC is adamantly and vehemently in support of year-round coyote hunting. MUCC is definitely against this proposal that would limit coyote hunting. Jordan, good evening. How are you? My email, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. It is hunters against hunters. Here we go again. Well, APRs. Hey, Brent. Hey, Tracy. It's convoluted. It's wrong. It's strange. Heather, thank you. NRC@michigan.gov is the email that will be sent to all commissioners. NRC, thank you, Heather. NRC@michigan.gov. NRC@michigan.gov. Thank you, Jordan. Hello, Mike. Yes. 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 Heather, read the whole wildlife amendments. Google Michigan wildlife amendments. There are a ton of new proposals. It'll be and be in the know. It did escalate quickly. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that. Jordan, Mike, there is no trigger built into the current wolf management plan that initiates lethal controls of wolves in Michigan. Let me digest this for a minute. There is no trigger built into the current wolf management plan that initiates lethal control of wolves in Michigan. Chad, show me the impact that reducing the season on coyotes versus their impact on deer. This is the secret argument. Allow baiting for deer and the season for coyotes won't need to change. It's not about deer numbers, Chad. It's not about deer numbers. Conspiracy. Thank you, Emil. Conspiracy. Thank you, Johnny. I'm not smarter than you, Zach, because I don't know what's going on in Colorado. Good evening, Bernie. All right, Chris, have a good evening at work. Nate says, I'd like to see the sound science that got us no baiting. Justin, well said, Craig Plowman. Craig is full of lots of information. Jeff, didn't see any deer, but saw a flock of 100 turkeys. Art Lewis, the fewer politicians who interfere in our lives, the better off we all are, hunters or not. Amen to that, brother. It's a good topic, but it's a very sad topic. We do lose a lot of fawns to farmers. Being sent to the convention carrying 3 votes per proposal. Excellent, Paul. Good evening, Jeff. How many are on the NRC? Oh, how many on the NRC are hunters? Not enough, Tony, not enough. 10 states, as well as New Mexico, have outlawed yote hunting. This is, whenever we give up any right to hunt coyotes, it is a very slippery slope. Because coyotes look like little wolves. They claim coyotes have wolf DNA in them. Don't give this up. Ken, been saying for years, sportsmen, hunters, and fishermen alike are their own worst enemy. Tell me, please, what is the difference between an anti-hunter telling me I can't hunt a certain animal or a certain way and another hunter telling me the exact same? Nothing. I will disagree with you there, Ken. I agree with your premise. Let me get rid of the comment just so I can see my beautiful face. The thing about an anti-hunter telling me something is you know where he's coming from, and he's not trying to hide his agenda, and you know he's part of the enemy. The thing about a fellow sportsman trying to do the same thing, it's almost dirtier because it's not right out in the open. And the anti-hunters are our enemies. So we expect that from them. Fellow hunters are supposed to be our friends. They're supposed to be our buddies. So when they come out with something that wants to eliminate a hunting season for no sound biological reason, to me, it hurts more. There is no, okay, Elmer, I'll go back. I'll talk about this one more time, then I'm going to move on. Elmer says, what and where are they basing their decision to push the restrictions? Again, even the DNR admits there is no biological reason to limit the coyote hunting season. It is coming before the NRC tomorrow because, and this is, I've seen this in black and white, because the DNR says constituent groups, or stakeholders as they call them, have asked for it. The stakeholders who are asking for it, according to everything I've been told, is the Michigan Trappers and Predator Callers Association and the Michigan Dog Hunting Federation. I have much respect for both groups. I just disagree with them on this issue. So that's why. And the reason that those two groups are pushing for this is they are concerned with the way the world is today, and this is a valid concern, in my opinion. They are concerned that the perception and the optics of hunting coyotes during the puppy season puts such a negative connotation on it that they're afraid they'll lose more hunting rights. So, in effect, what they want to do is sacrifice the coyote hunting season to save additional seasons. I think I should have worded that before. They want to sacrifice that period of time to save seasons down the road. Avery, that's very astute. Why didn't you? They're not releasing wolves. Nobody's really. Oh, okay, Zach. Okay, out west. Okay, out west. Yes, I thought you were saying they're releasing wolves in Michigan right now. No. True, Randy. Tim says, I'm not convinced the secret agenda isn't about deer numbers. Please do, Zach. I'm here from the government, and I'm here to help. Yes, it is appropriate, Jordan. It is appropriate to point out that NRC are political appointees, so keeping politics out isn't reality the way our system currently functions. Amen to that. And the DNR director is also appointed too. Paul says, hidden agendas, or is it a lack of knowledge? I think they have the knowledge, Paul. Josh Mapes, good guy. Okay. Chad, if you support not shortening the season on coyotes, define your support. I'm open to other options. Linda, minimal numbers on the NRC are hunters 3 for 7, not hunting in their bios. Good evening, Kevin, how are you? Slippery slope. The new Michigan gun laws. Yeah, actually, Art, let me make myself a note because Glenn Duncan called me the other day and he says, Mike, I need to get on the show and talk about that. So, yes. Okay. Can we switch gears? Let's turn our attention to something more positive, shall we? One more from Jordan. We got a lot of smart people. Jordan, bottom line, no matter the species being discussed, social science is not science. This is interesting, though, Jordan, because I actually brought this up in a conversation with DNR biologists one time, and I said, how can you bring social science into the equation when you're bound by sound biological management science? He said, well, social science is a factor these days. I'm like, okay, let's move on. It's all about unicorns. Let's move on. Because in the 6 minutes I have left, I don't want to keep ragging on this. I'm not getting a new Angler Quest, Linda. I am running my current Angler Quest, QWEST, for this summer, while Brad Dupuis, Mr. Angler Quest, works on producing the new Angler Quest, QUEST. There will be an Angler Quest Owners Tournament again this summer, though. Doug Ward, Craig Plowman. Okay, let's turn our attention to a couple of fun things. Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction, Saturday, March 2nd, on my Facebook page. And I tried to pull it up earlier, but let me me just try it again here. Let me just try it here because I don't want to give up on it quite yet. Okay, let me pull this up here. There we go, right? That might be too big. Share. There we go. No, that's not it. Can't do it. On my Facebook page, I posted the QR code. You can scan that. We have about 50 tickets left out of 400. It's still there, Elmer. When we get done, it's still there. About 50 tickets left out of 400. So we're going to sell out. We're going to sell out. If you would like to join us, we would love to have you there. Great wild game dinner, outstanding silent auction, a wonderful live auction hosted by your host, me, with some great prizes. Michigan brand products for a year. Hunting trips ranging from a South African safari to a 3-day guided squirrel hunt in Michigan. Fishing trips ranging from Lake Michigan salmon trips to a guided brook trout fishing trip in the UP. Lots of great prizes, but you got to be there to be involved in the live auction. Go to one.bidpal.net. That's one.bidpal.net/Trinity to get your tickets, or scan the QR code that's on my Facebook page right now. Saturday, March 2nd at the Great Hall in Midland. The other great event is the Mike Avery Outdoors, the outdoor magazine. Golf outing is a go. We finalized this last week. It is Monday, July 29th at the West Branch Country Club. Proceeds will go to MUCC's youth camp. We've already got some great people involved. We are still looking for sponsors, whole sponsors, longest drive, all that kind of stuff. If you'd like to be involved in helping us out, send me an email to mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. That's mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. And as I get set to wrap this up, I realized I didn't do the music tonight, so I won't do the music tonight. Art says, sign me up. Sign up for the golf outing. Boy, it's way too early. I just want you to put it on your calendars. If you are interested, set aside Monday, July 29th, for our inaugural Mike Avery Outdoors golf outing at the West Branch Country Club, with proceeds to MUCC's youth camp. Brent says, hey, I'll do a fishing pole for the golf outing. Thank you, Brent. Brent is doing a fishing rod. Hey, Scott, were you at one time said you wanted to sponsor the number one hole? Is that the case? Let me know. And we'll look forward to seeing you at the outing. Brent says he'll do a fishing rod for the golf outing. Brent also did a handmade rod for us for the Trinity Monitor event, and it is beautiful. It is a piece of work. The Linwood Legends are ready to hit the links. Can we do a shortest drive if we get enough people to get behind it? Greg said, I don't golf, but can I drive the beer cart? No, because Ross Elliott and Johnny Bowler are already driving the beer cart. They're wearing Daisy Dukes and tank tops. Doug, you're breaking my heart. We don't need any cleanup, though, buddy. I mean, you're breaking my heart. You can't be a part of it, but we're not going to need any cleanup. Michelle says, I have a great idea. Maybe you should stay at a certain hole and take the 20 to use your drive. Michelle, that is a great idea, but I'm not staying at one hole. I'm golfing. I'm playing the 18. Scott says, yep, Linwood Taxidermy number one hole is his. Zach, don't be changing the topic here and messing with my mojo. We're talking golf right now. But yeah, a lot of the bucks still have their sheds. That's a bad visual. Have you met Johnny Bowler? And have you met Ross Elliott? And Craig says, Craig knows him, and he says he just went blind from that beer cart visual. So, if you'd like to play golf, and you don't have to be good at it, if you like to play golf, if you wouldn't mind smoking a cigar, and if you want to raise money for a good cause, Kevin Hannis is the supervisor at the West Branch Country Club. He will be hosting our event. I think a lot of people are coming, Kevin. I think it's going to be a great event. They'll be their number one customer. Forget that I ever mentioned Johnny Bowler and Ross Elliott on a beer cart. I don't know if I'm going to sleep tonight. I'm going to have to do a double shot tonight of this to get over that visual. Well, Bill, you made it here just in time to wrap up. The Michigan brand guys will be there. The Michigan brand guys will be there golfing. I'm not asking Michigan brand to I'm not asking Michigan brand for anything. Michigan brand has been so generous that I'm not asking them to do anything except show up and play golf. Uh-oh. 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 You know what that means. I snuck it in on you, didn't I? Golf. Uncle Johnny. Where else can you drink and drive? Uncle Johnny and I are working on a foursome. Oh, Johnny, Lanny Dexter. My buddy Lanny is going to join us in that foursome. So as soon as we have details on how to sign up, I will let you know. If you want to get involved in being a sponsor in some way, send me an email to Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com, and I will put you in touch with the appropriate people. Just set Monday, July 29th on your calendar. Also, don't forget, going back to more serious things, if you have some thoughts, some comments on restricting the Michigan coyote hunting season, send an email to the Michigan NRC. And if you want tickets for our big Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction, scan the QR code that's on my Facebook page right now. My name is Mike Avery. This whole thing is called Outdoor Magazine. My website, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. And I'll look forward to talking with you next week. Have a good night, my friends.